side, and now you're standing right in front of me. You were always in the back of my mind, and now you're standing right in front of me. You were always on the other side, and now I'm searching for the air to breathe. You were always in the back of my mind, always knew you were the enemy.
Doesn't the cactus flower need time to bloom? I think I found you in a cartoon, with a crooked hat and face like a moon. You share your flowers with all around. I look at you, cause you seem found. Close your eyes, hear that sound. There's a pile of sweaters filled with holes, and empty cabinets filled with prose. The world's big, but the sky's too loud. Can't read signs and my brain's a cloud. I'm holding paper flowers, unlighting melted candles, and sipping day-old coffee from mugs that don't belong to me.
Run it up, not much time, gotta press my luck. Run it up, run it up, run it up, living my life, gonna call your bluff. Run it up, run it up, run it up, not much time, gotta press my luck. Run it up, run it up, run it up, living my life, gonna call your bluff. Run it up, run it up, run it up, not much time, gotta press my luck. Run it up, run it up, run it up, living my life, gonna call your bluff. Run it up, run it up, run it up, not much time, gotta press my luck. Run it up, run it up, run it up, living my life, gonna call your bluff. Run it up, run it up, run it up, not much time, gotta press my luck. Run it up, run it up, run it up, I'm searching for you. Run it up, run it up, run it up, you were always in the back of my mind. Run it up, run it up, always living my life.
Flying high, gliding by, resting on the cloud, whispering through the sky. I made this shit for you and I'm living by that do or die. Do you wanna ride in a caddy and chop it up? I got the sauce, just need the bread so I can sop it up. Say it ain't easy just to pock it up, cause we ain't pock enough, nah. Fly your way on my Zephyr to a whole new sector with a whole new spectrum where the words get collected in.
Hey, no, I'm not prepping nothing. We ain't losing.
I would like to be traded to any other team but the New England Patriots.
Big brain predictions. That's all I got.
Take it off, sir.
The Washington football team beat the Steelers.
All right. And that person.
EDP.
Yes, but if we lose this game, I firmly believe
we do not need to make playoffs. So
Don't you ever disrespect
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode number 53. I am your co-host, Dylan Brown.
And I'm your other wonderful delightful co-host, Shaquille Brown. There's a lot going on. I'm really upset.
Shaq throwing in all kinds of adjectives on that one. We have the usual peanut gallery here for the third week in a row now. Folks, how have you been? Malin, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, first of all, let's talk about why Shaq is wonderful and I'm a peanut. Like, so that's the first thing.
You could be whatever you want
No,
to be.
my Seahawks won, man, so I'm happy.
Good for you.
I'm happy.
Evan, how have you been, my guy? How's it going over there in the dorm life? Actually, not the dorm life. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah. It's been all right. Exam tomorrow. Let y'all know how it goes next week. Not P.S. Mom, don't watch this. Not studying.
I was about to say you're doing a lot of studying right now.
Yeah, definitely not doing that. But no, good week, great week. Giants got to win. That's all I can say. That's all I'd say. Giants got to win.
That is all that needs to be said. Morgan, what's going on?
You know, fucking midterms, man. Too many projects to do and so little time. And my team won, but our defense is still trash. That's really it.
We will get into that in just a few moments, folks.
I don't know what Morgan cries about more. Does he cry about homework more or his team more? Like, man, get a hug, man.
The week's worth of homework that he does 5 minutes before it's due.
During the show.
Folks, if you are listening to this godforsaken show, you can watch it live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or close to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On YouTube, we are on the Melheims Media YouTube channel, so if you just search Melheims Media on YouTube or click the first link down in your podcast description, you'll be taken to the video version of the show. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you can be notified every Wednesday when we go live, just in case you forget, like some of us here. And you can watch any of the other shows here on the channel. So if you have any other interests, like meditation, hip-hop, interviews with other entrepreneurs, a bunch of different topics, subscribe to the Melheims Media channel so you can watch right here on YouTube.
I recommend the meditation after watching this one.
That is a very, very appropriate recommendation for the folks that are on the show and may be listening to the show.
I know I go home and meditate every Sunday.
For your mental health. Yeah. Wanted to mention real quick before we actually get into the topics here, our preseason predictions. We predicted just about every single game in the preseason of the NFL season. Right now, I am 39-25. Shaq, let me get a round of applause for Shaq. Shaq finally crossed the 500 mark. He's 2 games over at 33-31. Finally got himself up above the water level there. Yeah, I mean,
Gotta be one positive. So this season,
we will see how that continues to go as we just passed the quarter mark of this season, or just about the quarter mark of the season. So anyway, we're going to hop right into our week 4 recap. We're going to start off with Tampa Bay came into Foxborough and left with a dub. They beat my Patriots 19-17. What are your guys' thoughts on Tom Brady's return to the Patriots? Shaq, let me start with you.
I mean, I don't think Tom Brady lived up to what he was necessarily supposed to do to the degree what I expected him. I don't know. I expect him to do better. I think it was more of the surrounding team did their part more than Tom Brady, and but they got the job done. So congrats to them.
They did. They did execute on the most important part that they needed to. Morgan, what did you think of Tom Brady's return?
I just feel like he was a little sloppy a little bit in the first quarter. He missed a couple passes. A few passes to his man, Mike Evans. But, they won. So I was hoping they were going to lose, but they didn't.
Yeah, you and I both. Evan, what did you think of his return?
It was nothing like LeBron's return to Cleveland. In fact, a lot less animosity.
Right.
But game was close. Congrats to your Patriots. They put up a hard fought game.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. Hey, look, you have a rookie quarterback, who is one pretty fat, and two is game manager. So, and the fact that you put up 17 points.
No,
I mean, Bucks defense is
17
good.
points,
So I mean, hey, they put up 19. Look,
Yep, they sure did.
you put up 19, and
Which is a bigger number than
what?
17.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? You guys were what? A field goal left of a win, maybe, with
Right.
50 seconds left, with 50 seconds left, something like that. It's a winnable game. Congrats.
Very optimistic
That's-
soul you are, Evan.
Yeah.
Balin, what did you think about this?
Okay, seriously, like everybody seems being so polite here.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say this. Brady got bailed out once again by a Patriots kicker. Okay, it used to be Vinatieri in the Super Bowl, and now he gets bailed out by another Patriots kicker by the name of Nick Folk. Only this time it's because he misses for the first time in over a year. The man can't even get the Justin Tucker bounce. Come on now, like that was stupid. And how are we going to applaud a team that scores 17 points on a Bucks defense that's allowed over 30 points in 2 out of the previous 3 weeks? I'm just saying it wasn't great. But what I will say is this: Brady got outplayed. By that, I don't know. I guess Evan's saying he's fat. I don't think he's fat. I think he's a good-looking man.
I don't know where I was getting that. He also thinks Kyle Lowry's fat. So.
Hey, all right.
No,
You guys have to see the picture of Mac in the locker room with a cigar in his mouth at Alabama.
Okay, yeah, but we all saw the same picture of Tom Brady at the combine looking skinny and chubby at the same time. So that's the Patriots mold.
Okay. Also, Mac Jones is scared to throw the ball.
No, he was not in that game. That man was throwing it down the field. I'm going to say that man was 31 of 40. Yeah, that's not. I don't know. What,
Look at him, scared. Look at him.
I feel bad, but Jones was 31 of 40, 275 with 2 touchdowns and 1 interceptions, to 40-year-old Brady being 22 of 43, 269 and nothing. Okay, and Jones was throwing the ball down the field in the rain, putting them in a scoring drive, and then getting them in position for a makeable field goal. So I do think that Jones kind of did have a little bit of a coming out party.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a little bit. I'm happy that the Patriots traded away Gilmore, because anytime that the Patriots get worse, I'm a fan of that. It's perplexing that they keep getting rid of good players. But I'll just say this: that once again, Brady gets a win because of the Patriots kicker. I don't care what you say. It's either that or deflated footballs. You can kiss my butt. Real talk. What do you think, Jalen?
I thought I'll start with Mac Jones. He did show me a lot this game. He showed me tremendous poise in the way that he was throwing the ball down the field. He did not shrink to the moment at all, which I thought he kind of was, seeing that the man who basically built the stadium was coming back here to come play you. Like, he stood up to it. It was just fine. Statistically, yes, he did outplay Brady, which was pretty cool. But yeah, he showed that he can throw the ball down the field, even in the rain. He got the job done. It added more points to me in my Mac Jones book. He's quickly growing on me a ton. So,
Yeah, but okay, but didn't it also seem like the moment, and this is probably one of the first times in so long where it almost seemed like the moment was too big for Brady because he waited till the
yes,
last second to come out because he didn't do his normal warm ups or anything like that. He came out at the very end. It was one of the first times I've ever seen him come out with his own helmet and not having someone else carry his helmet for him in like the last 15 years. Beside the point. But it almost seemed like the moment was too big for Brady, and it kind of showed during the game because Jones was making throws that you would expect Brady to be able to make
right.
his wide receiving core that Jones was making with a bunch of no-namers. And so that's what was surprising. Like, yes, it was surprising that the Patriots were in the game. We all expected the Bucks to kind of blow them out. But with the way that Jones played, like, without Folk doinking that field goal, like, they had a legitimate shot of winning that game. And that was actually kind of crazy to me. And I don't know if that says more about the Patriots being better than what we thought or the Bucks being a little bit worse than what we thought. I kind of think it's more about the Bucks not being as good as what we thought.
I'd like to think it's the
Well,
other
I
way
want to
around. But
add I want to add two things. Don't get it twisted. I do like Mac Jones. I think that this was the first game that I was able to see his arm actually showcased. And you know, the past 3 weeks, it's been a lot of checkdowns, a lot of actually running the ball. But I mean, if I'm in stats right, there wasn't any running the ball
no, there was not much
during the
running
Bucks
game
game.
on our part. It was Leonard Fournette, and that
Yeah,
was it.
exactly. So I think that this is the first game where we were able to see Matt Jones's arm actually showcased, and I think that's kind of exciting, especially for Pats fans. You know, you definitely get to see your rookie quarterback, who's I guess been underutilized, I guess you could say, in a sense. We haven't been able to see his full potential, but I mean, you saw glimpses of it Sunday night. But I think that this game for the Bucks, you see how big Gronk's absence is. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean Antonio Brown's too for that matter, but Gronk's absence was greatly missed. I mean, you know, Tom's obviously biggest target, best friend, right hand man is Gronk. And him not being there to also face the adversity of returning back to New England, you know, it's kind of just like, you know, like Maitland said, it kind of leaves Tom out to dry, and now the moment becomes too big for him. So I think that you could really see how much Gronk was needed in that game. Um, and that could be why Tom just didn't have as great of a game as he did. I mean, you know, there's no one on the team that he has chemistry more with than Gronk. And, you know, when you're missing that guy, it's not going to fare well for him, especially in that environment.
I think I figured it out before. And I think that Evan has a high school crush on Mac Jones because he liked him, but he's calling him names. Like,
Hey,
I like
I've
you, but you're fat. I think that's
I've
figuring it out.
always liked Mac Jones. I think the first game he's played, I liked him, and I was like, oh, he's showed me something. A completion rate. I mean, he completes a lot of passes, but obviously it's a lot of checkdowns. Um, but he's not my favorite in the rookie class. We'll talk about my favorite later
Yep.
when we talk about the Seahawks game. But you know, I do like what I see out of Mac Jones. So
Okay, first of all, if you even hint that the fact that Trey Lance out of all that, like, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that, Evan. But what I will say with this is that Matt Jones is statistically better than what Tom Brady was when Tom Brady first started playing. The difference is that the defense isn't quite as good, and the AFC East is a lot better. But Mac Jones is outplaying Tom Brady from when Tom Brady first started. Because let's not forget Muffin Top Brady from the Combine. No, this was a long time before that man started eating avocado ice cream. He wasn't always putting up all these numbers.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next game here, I just want to mention I am very satisfied with how our defense played in this game. They did exactly what I expected them to do. They just did not make it easy for Tom throughout that entire game, especially, like Evan said, since they were missing Gronk. Take away his security blanket, and it becomes much more competitive. Shout out to the refs for giving us a couple favorable calls to keep us in that game. And then last but not least, we should not have kicked that damn ball from a 56-yard field goal in the rain. Mac Jones is playing really well. We should have let him go for that fourth down to try and convert and keep that drive alive instead of rushing out the field goal unit to go try that impossible kick. I like Nick Folk. He's great. He's not Justin Tucker, though. I knew that ball was not going in from the moment he fucking kicked it. And when you have Chris Collinsworth thing, he hasn't missed in 4 years. Like, I hate when they do that, when they like jinx them on the spot. It's like, well, here we go.
That's more Collinsworth than him. I mean, okay, so you're really going to say that you trust Mac Jones in that situation on what was it, 4th and 3?
Yeah.
To get 3 yards, then
Absolutely.
you do Nick Folk getting that ball another half a yard to the right. Because if it goes a half a yard further to the right, it hits the goalpost and goes in. Like, I mean, he was definitely capable of making the kick.
Yeah,
even though
he's a great kicker. I'm not saying that like he was just way not the man for the job, but Mac was on a roll. Like, I feel like he could have, like, if you believe in the guy, he's been playing well all game. He's statistically outplayed Brady. He can get 3 more yards. I was fully expecting us to go for it on the 4th and 3.
I agree.
Do you think that Belichick was protecting Jones, though? Because if Jones goes for a 4th and 3 and misses it, all of a sudden Mac Jones loses to Brady in the football game. If the kicker misses it, Mac Jones led a heroic comeback and it was missed by the kicker. Like, the narrative is completely different in that case.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much he cares about narratives. In the end, we lost either way. But I think that he didn't. To me, it seemed like he didn't trust Mac enough to go for it. That's just how it came across to me.
Well, it's your team, and you've seen him win 6 Super Bowls, whatever.
Moving on to the next topic here from my team over to Shaq's team.
Yes.
Just before this game,
I will be the last one to talk about this.
Okay, fair enough. I'll make this brief. The Steelers' offense has been a constant problem for the past 2 years now. So that's nothing new. But the injuries on their defense are really starting to be alarming because they could not stop a nosebleed at this point. Like, it is very scary. If they cannot get healthy on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to be in for a very long year because that Packer game showed me a lot. And I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, if we rewind a week, it was Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's just bad on both sides of the ball, and that is a recipe for complete disaster. They need to get healthy fast, and because I mean that's what they lean on. At the end of the day, they lean on their defense to keep them in a game, and then pray that their offense can go, win in a late game situation. So yeah, they need to figure that out. So that's my biggest concern with Pittsburgh right now, is without a doubt their defense, because that's their backbone. But Evan, what did you think about what is your biggest concern with the Steelers right now?
I would say the defense is definitely up there, but I think, if I'm being honest, the quarterback position, Ben just isn't Ben anymore. And the problem that you face now with the Steelers is that you have Ben Roethlisberger, right? And then your two backups are Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. And you're kind of in a pickle because there's guys aren't any better than Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, at this point, I don't know if I'm taking a Mason Rudolph over Ben. I consider it for sure, but I don't think I would do it. But I really do think that because the offense has been extremely productive in the past with Ben, and now it's coming to a halt with him getting to this age. It's kind of sad to watch almost him play football. So I don't know I don't know where you go from here if you considering the quarterback position. I mean, do you pick up Cam Newton? Do you draft a quarterback in the upcoming draft? I think that is a big question mark coming out for the Steelers, and they need to figure that out because you can't have another year with Ben, or at least not have somebody waiting in the wings to replace Ben.
Yeah, it is pretty sad to see. It's that perfect example of like when you just watch somebody play too long and you're like, man, you should have been out of here quite a bit ago. But anyway, Malin, what do you think about this?
Well, I mean, yes, the defense has injuries, but none of them are career threatening. So your defense is going to be your defense going forward. I think this year is going to end up being a lost year. I'm sorry, Shaq, but the way you're looking right now, I think you already know it, and that's why you want to talk. I mean, hell, Big Ben, he looks about as athletic running out there at quarterback as I would at 40 years old, but I haven't played professional football for the last 18 years. So it just doesn't look good. And he's got 2 injuries now, another one on his elbow. But the thing that Pittsburgh has themselves in a pickle in is that they have over-the-hill big men when their division has Lamar Jackson, Burrow, and Mayfield. And that's a problem. Okay? Mm-hmm. So the solution to that problem is to suck this year, get a good draft pick.
Doing a good job of that so far.
Give that to Green Bay. Give that good draft pick to Green Bay, and Green Bay trade you Aaron Rodgers. Because I don't know if you guys saw this during that telecast, but Tomlin and Rodgers have a love affair right now. Like, I wish my wife looked the way that Tomlin looked at Aaron Rodgers when he winked at him. Like, they got something going on. It's just fire. And I don't think it's by mistake. Even Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee show just singing praises to Tomlin in ways that he never talked about Matt LaFleur, the way he never talked about McCarthy. And I think that's how they fix themselves. If they suck enough this year, get a top 5 pick, trade for Aaron Rodgers, they got the division for the next 5 years. With that defense and that wide receiver core and Najee Harris, that's how you fix that team immediately. Because if you take that top 5 pick, because you're going to have a top 5 pick, Shaq, I'm sorry. But if you take that top 5 pick, you get a first-round draft pick, that's a 50-50 shot. I'd rather go for 100 out of 100 shot with someone like Aaron Rodgers that's still going to be great for another 5 years. Because all he needs is one person like a Skip Bayless to say that he's not great and he's going to do another MVP performance. Like, that's all he needs. He needs one hater on ESPN. He's going to blow up and get another MVP. So I think that's how the Steelers stay relevant.
Before Morgan goes, real quick, it is kind of funny that he has this weird thing with Mike Tomlin, but I will say, with him saying all that on the Pat McAfee show, I feel like McAfee's show was kind of all about that, like, let's jerk each other off on the show, and it's all kind of happy-go-lucky, sing praises to each other.
They always do that, and there's not a damn chance in hell you can ever convince me that Pat McAfee was drinking a nice coffee. Not a chance in hell. That man was sucking down some bourbon. But still, I mean, I still think that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there after this year, right? and the Packers aren't going to trade him to an NFC team.
Right.
They don't want to. They want to face him in the NFC team. So how many teams in the AFC need a quarterback besides Denver?
Right.
How many other teams?
Yeah.
So that's why I say it just kind of makes sense. Now, are the Steelers smart enough to do that? I don't know.
Right. Besides the maybe we're just assuming too much, that to me is the biggest hurdle. Is it makes too much sense for Pittsburgh to actually pull that trigger for them to do that, like, because whatever Green Bay asked for, shit, give it to them. But I don't know if the Steelers
But
will do it.
Pittsburgh's the only one that's going to have the capital for it because Denver's going to be just good enough with small hands Teddy to win enough games. I like how you guys laugh. The man has small hands. That's why he wears gloves. They're going to win enough games to be. They're not going to be able to offer the draft capital that Pittsburgh will be able to offer next year. So that's why I think it makes sense. I'm calling it now. It's a hot take, Jalen. A hot take.
I would like to see it. Even though my team is in the AFC, it would still be just blockbuster to see that. But Morgan, what do you think?
You know, I'm convinced. I'm sorry, Shaq. It's not going to be taking shots at you.
Oh, he is.
Last
Exactly.
year, when Washington beat the Steelers.
Why do you gotta bring this up every
Oh,
single show?
Just apologize, Morgan.
That once we beat
No.
all were ruined for the next 2-3 years. That's what I think. Okay? I'm sorry, Shaq, but that's what happened.
Are you
then
saying
you
that
got-
they put a curse on them for this?
You got a moldy quarterback.
Damn.
who can't complete passes. But I am sorry that you're
Who's the quarterback right now?
he got 3 touchdowns.
Wait a minute, Shaq. First of all, you can't say that because you have half the bench. You the person that Washington benched last year, and you picked him up and put him on your bench. You can't pick on quarterbacks.
I'm saying. All right, go ahead so I can hurry up and vet my opinions and go home and be upset about it.
No, man, Morgan just already cursed your team. I don't know, man. That's
I apologized to this man last week, and then for his team to win, mine to lose, and then him still come back on the show and cuss me out about how I ain't shit. I apologize to get treated like shit for 2 weeks, but it's all right. So the show runs. Are you done with your opinion, or should I?
Yeah, you can go ahead and say your piece.
My piece is my team is god awful right now. We will finish 5-12 come the end of the season. We will get our top 5 pick, but we will not be smart enough to do anything useful out of our pick. We won't pick up Aaron Rodgers and the income to Pittsburgh. For our best hopes is that we get like Cam Newton at some point in the season, or we pick him up. But we are not smart enough to do anything useful, like pick up Aaron Rodgers. He basically openly said, "I am okay playing with this team."
I mean, he did.
Yes, we are going to continue to bleed the shit out of Ben Rustyburger until further notice. And we, for some reason, picked up 2 quarterbacks who ain't worth shit, but we're okay doing that for some reason. Mike Tomlin will stroke out by midseason watching this offense play, and our defense could be fully healthy for the rest of the season. Would not make a difference. They can stop everything, but we will not be able to score. So it's like you can be the best defense ever, but if your offense cannot come out and do anything with it, and we have a good receiving core, we have a decent running back now, but we can not get the ball to them for some reason because we got homeboy back there struggling to do anything whatsoever. It's like I wish I can blame it on age, but we have Tom Brady out there.
We'll see. He's an anomaly.
He's an anomaly, but at the same time, it's not out of the realm of possibilities for a lot of these quarterbacks to do. You have the money, people have the training and things, but unfortunately, Big Ben has thrived for so long for being a big dude that he's probably not taking care of his body like he should. He's taking the hits. He's taking
Yeah.
the wear and tear. His body's not what it should be, probably. So unfortunately,
I think he's at the point that even if he decided to change his diet and whatever, it's probably a little too late.
he's injury ridden. He cannot do it anymore. It's just like he's beyond his years of prime. He's about 3 seasons more than he should have played, and like he's trying to prove a point now, which is not proven. So it's kind of like, at what point do you decide I'm done? But unfortunately, he's gonna quit, and it's like we didn't set ourselves up for success because we didn't give ourselves a good person to sit in the shadows and watch.
Right.
So unfortunately, whoever takes over for Pittsburgh is gonna get thrown right into that #1 spot of, all right, learn.
Yeah.
So we're in a bad spot. We're gonna suck for at least 3 more seasons.
Shaq, okay, first of all, 2 years ago, you guys went 8-8 with Mason Rudolph and whatever his backup was when Mason Rudolph got his ass knocked out. It's a good team.
Yes, but
and,
the best.
Well, Claypool's there now, and you got Najee Harris. Like, they can still win games. Like, I know it has to be on the health of the defense, but I mean, come on, man. Collins never had a losing season, so he's not Urban Meyer. He's not going to stroke out at like 6 or 7 losses. All right.
I mean, I just do not like. It's hard for me to believe that from watching this team so far this season with Big Ben just struggling, to think that Mason Rudolph's will come in here and fix all of our problems off the bat.
Well, it ain't gonna be Mason Rudolph.
No, because my thing is the fact that they're not even considering putting him in the game these past couple weeks. They literally will sit there and watch this man struggle, and they haven't considered putting Rudolph or Haskins in the game is a thing to me that they know something that it's like, yo, we struggling with Ben, but that's still our option right now. So to me, that says like they know that Rudolph and Haskins solve no problems that we got out there right now.
Jalen, 2 things real quick. So first off, I have to apologize because my Seahawks are the ones that broke Big Ben's arm 2 years ago. So I apologize about that. But I will say this. One of the more badass things I've ever seen from a quarterback in the last 5 years was Rudolph coming to the line and winking at Bobby Wagner in that Seahawks-Pittsburgh game. Like, he was coming to the line and just winked at him like, I'm about to score on you. And he scored. Like, that man has some moxie. Now, he got his bell rung a few times after that, and he probably forgets who his mother is. But, yeah, Big Ben looks like Drew Brees did before he retired the last 2 years. Like, Drew Brees stopped being able to throw the ball down and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, market, hot take, Aaron Rodgers. And if they get Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to hear you next year, Shaq, all of a sudden saying all these praises how great they are, because you're saying right now it's a 3-year funk.
We praise y'all praising Rudolph. Fitzpatrick, for heaven's sake, had a no-look pass. He looks like God tier for 3 games out of the season, and people are praising him. It's like, yes, you can look good for brief spurts and moments, but Fitzpatrick's also played for half the fucking NFL for a reason.
Okay.
They know they can get 3 good games.
He also has a great beard and went to Harvard, and right now I think his hip is dying. So, I mean, not quite the same.
Yes, we see spurts of good moments from all QBs because let's remember, they all play in the NFL. They're all moderately really good at what they do, but unfortunately, do I depend on this man to win us games? Absolutely not.
I wasn't saying Rudolph was good. I was just saying that Tomlin went 8-8 with Rudolph and the 3rd-string quarterback, and I don't remember what his name is. But that's okay. You guys got Dwayne Haskins, so it's going to be all right.
We won't, but like I said, about 2 or 3 more seasons before we become.
All right, let's get the fuck out of Pittsburgh. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Do I?
Next team. The Seahawks outlasted the 49ers 28-21. Malin, I'm going to go to you first on your own team. What were your thoughts on Trey Lance battling your own Russell Wilson?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm insulted by the fact that you call that a battle, and I'll get to that in a second. But, flexing real quick, 13 out of 16 wins against the Niners, Book it, baby. We own them. All right, that's fine. Whatever. But no, the first half was terrible, and it made me sad, and I got angry, and I think I drank 3 beers in the first quarter. And when I looked up at halftime, and we were tied 7-7, it was almost like I saw the heavens break open and Jesus coming down on a white horse, and like everything was going to be okay. But no, like we got lucky a little bit, okay, because Jimmy G turned into a pumpkin. The fact that he started out 10 for 10 was pissing me off. But then he missed like 9 out of his next 11 passes, and he got a calf injury because he's a baby, whatever. And the best thing that happened was the fact that Lance came into the game. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the first pass that Lance threw. It was a screen pass to Kittle that was wide open, and he threw it 3 yards behind Kittle at his feet. And it's like Kittle looked at him like, what the fuck? Like, the moment that pass happened, I knew the game was over. And the only other good throw that Lance had the rest of the game was because my dumbass Seahawks don't know how to play defense anymore because we're a long time outside of Legion of Boom. And they left Samuel, like, I don't know, if the field's 100 yards, they left him 120 yards wide open. And he was able to run for a touchdown, and then we gave up a touchdown in garbage time. But the moment that Trey Lance came into that game, it was over because there is no comparison. Trey Lance was over his skis. He looked almost as bad as Fields did in his first week. But I mean that was hilarious watching Lance try to control that offense. Now the bad thing for Seattle is that a running back that I have on a couple of my fantasy teams, which would be Chris Carson, hurt his neck, and Alex Collins had to come in, and Alex Collins ran pretty well. But, we got a game tomorrow, so that kind of stinks. But, no, I expected us to beat the Niners. After the first quarter, I was thinking we were going to get our ass kicked, and I'm glad we won because we needed it. But, yeah, that's about all I got. It was kind of hard to watch for half of football.
Evan,
but that one play that Wilson did where he evaded 2 sacks and threw that touchdown to Freddie Swain for 28 yards, that was money. That was beautiful. That's all I'm saying.
Evan, what were your thoughts on Trey Lance's basically debut here?
Yes, he could have done better. Being thrown into the fire like that. I mean, his first actual game under center after, just only being brought in on scoring plays. His first actual game under center. I mean, going off stats, 9 of 18, 157, 2 touchdowns, and 41 yards rushing. I think it's an over-exaggeration compared to Justin Fields' first game. But I do think that, yes, he could have played better, but also in a half of football to put up damn near 200 yards, I think that's a solid. And 2 touchdowns. I think that's a solid half.
80 yards was that one broken play where Sam
Yes, that's true. That is true. It was a broken play.
Sam was 9 for 17 with a $120 and 1 touchdown. Outside of that one broken play, like he made me miss Kaepernick. Like I thought Kaepernick would come in and done better during that half. That one play everyone's saying about with like they're saying all of Lance's stats, but that one play with Deebo Samuel, I was like did the defense even come on the field? Like I don't even remember a defender being near him.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that point was garbage time, and Deebo Samuel was on Mars by himself. So.
That was one of the worst defensive breakdowns I've seen in my entire life, and I hate to say that being against my favorite team, but there is no excuse for a wide receiver that's leading the NFL in receiving yards to be that wide open. Zero excuse.
Morgan, your thoughts on Trey Lance?
Trey Lance, he threw 2 touchdowns. I game just cause, but he threw 2 touchdowns. I'm proud of him. But he needs to work on some things. And but Debo, he had 2 touchdowns, so I guess that was his 2 passes that he threw to him, right? So he has a lot to learn. So let's just keep it at that, and let's see what he does next game. And Seahawks are tough, so playing elite.
Well, first of all, we ain't that boom. Let's just calm down. And Lance did so bad that they're about to roll Garoppolo out there with a hurt calf in this start. So
You gotta let him play.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Morgan and Evan on that one. I thought he looked okay. He probably got to work out the kinks first. It was his first time really getting thrown out there, so let him adjust for a little while. But I will say I would not name him the starter outright just yet. I'd see why they were still like, all right, Jimmy G, he'll be back this Sunday. I would still definitely let Garoppolo take the majority of the snaps as long as he's good to go, and let Lance keep holding the clipboard and just keep learning as much as possible. Because I think we've seen with all of these rookie quarterbacks this year that it is still not the greatest idea to just throw them into the fire immediately. There's a lot of value in sitting on the sideline and just watching that first year before you just get thrown in, because we're seeing that kind of in real time. But anyway, yeah, it is a bit strange for me that San Francisco won this game in every category except the win-loss category.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What in every category? What? We won that game. We had that game on lock in the second half. But listen, real quick, show of hands, how many people saw every snap that Trey Lance did on Sunday against the Seahawks? If you watched every snap like I did. So you didn't, you saw the highlights, and you saw the stat line. I saw a man looking lost out there. And no, he wasn't ready to go in. And he might be at some point, but he's not ready now. And I do think the Niners made a good choice of not getting rid of Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he made Garoppolo look good, that should tell you how ready he is. He needs more time than any other of the rookie quarterbacks. And like you said, the rookie quarterbacks are not playing good right now. In fact, they're playing bad. They combined 53% completion percentage. It's not good. Save that on stat line. That's
with Trey Lance, especially in his case, it's a little different solely because I'm pretty sure he only played a season of college football and then a game in his second season, and then COVID. So I definitely think that he doesn't have as much experience as all the other rookie quarterbacks did playing college football, and especially coming from North Dakota State. I think that obviously there's a lot of adjusting to do there, but presently a bad example, but Carson Wentz. We see Carson. We saw what he was able to do before torn ACL, coming from North Dakota State. So I definitely think that it's a learning period for him, and he'll be able to learn from Jimmy, and he'll be able to work for Kyle Shanahan, learn the offense. It's a very unique offense, so I think that the system is more tailored to him than it is to Jimmy. So, maybe by the end of the season, we'll see more snaps from Trey, and we'll see him, hopefully be named QB1 by the end of the season.
Okay, so Evan, can you answer me this? And this is just the weirdest that I can even think of, is the fact that, we can all agree that Jimmy Garoppolo is not good, right? And we all agree on that. He's not a great quarterback.
We can.
But Kyle Shanahan only has a 28% winning percentage when he has a quarterback playing that's not Jimmy G, but he has a 77% winning percentage when Jimmy G's playing. I don't understand that stat. It's insane to me. And I think it actually comes down to coaching because everyone keeps saying that Kyle Shanahan is this great coach, but he's only had one winning season in San Francisco. He blew a Super Bowl. He messed up RG3. He couldn't get the best out of Kirk Cousins. I mean, I'm just not a believer in Kyle Shanahan, and maybe you guys think that I'm just being the Seahawks homer. I don't know, but I think he gets a heck of a lot more accolades for being something that he's not. It's just really weird how bad they are when Jimmy G is not playing. They want to replace him.
I think it's more of a chemistry thing. I don't know what it is or why, but him and Jimmy G just seem to have a it factor whenever he's healthy. They seem to make magic happen. Because I agree, if he did not have Jimmy G or if he's on a different team, he's really yet to prove much of anything. But for whatever reason, Jimmy G and Shanahan have a thing to make magic happen. But Shaq, last but not least, what were your thoughts on this one?
All the comments. Congrats to the Seahawks for pulling it through when it mattered towards the end of the game, and I hope the defense is to the same level, if not less, come 2 weeks from now when when my offense comes to go play them.
I mean, primarily less.
Primarily less. Just saying. Not. I hope they win the rest of the season if they want to, because I have my bets are that the Seahawks make a far run come the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But just to give me a little bit of happiness, the 1 week that they play us, that the defense is paper thin and they let a couple of receivers go that game, but they can win the rest of the season. That's all I'm saying.
I was about to give you a virtual hug, man, until you said that. And can we just point out the fact that Morgan's doing homework right now?
Yes. And can I point out that I'm saying just give us 1 week and y'all can have the rest of the season. That's all I'm saying.
We gave you Super Bowl 40 and the refs gave it to you too, so you don't get a week.
We gave up 2 of our best players and both of them leave to go get rings since they left the team. The least y'all can do is give us 1 week of happiness.
No. You took my happiness to Super Bowl 40. You don't get no happiness.
Y'all have all the weapons and opportunity in the world to be a successful team. Literally.
He says weapons are not a defense anymore, that's for sure.
All your weapons are stacked on offense, unfortunately, but y'all have all the weapons and capability to be a great team and Super Bowl contenders if y'all really want to be. But
Morgan, instead of doing homework there, how impressed were you? Now, I will say this. You were a little down on your team in the first half of this game when you beat the Falcons 34-30. But in the end, how impressed were you with Taylor Heineken getting the job done in Atlanta in the clutch 34-30?
This man, Taylor, he's so different. All right, so he looks left, he looks right, he looks in the middle, nothing, and he throws a touchdown pass to Terry. Just throws it up there. I thought I was going to get an interception, but Terry just out of nowhere and just gets it. Touchdown. Taylor Heineke. He'll run the ball, yes, but he can throw some passes though. But one thing I hate about when he throws a pass, he'll throw it above the receiver, and that can cause a mishap. Oh shit. And so let's see the good things about the game, which was the J.D. McKissick touchdown, which he dove 4-yard line and just made a touchdown. Terry 2 touchdowns with 123 yards, and then Curtis came in. He did a couple plays, got a couple of first downs to relieve the pressure off of Terry, and then we got DeAndre Carter, who ran for a 103-yard touchdown from a kick return. That was great. We haven't had a good kick returner in like since Brandon Banks, which was like 3-4 years ago. Now the fucking defense. Oh my god.
Yo,
One sack.
one play defense.
One one sack. I can't deal with the stress right now with this defense. And you know, Chase is a non-factor. Non-factor.
Mm-hmm.
That gets me so mad. And then we had a whole bunch of injuries, which hurt the team. So we got Brandon Sheriff out for 2-3 weeks. Then we got a couple linebackers out. Bostic, he was another linebacker for the Washington football team. He's out for the season. So we're thinking about picking up Jalen Smith off the Cowboys. He was released today.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's going to the Panthers. Or no, he's not. He's going to the Packers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're finalizing the deal right now. He's going to the Packers.
Wow.
Oh, okay, that takes care of that. And then Logan Thomas got hurt, hamstring. He's out for 4 weeks. So we just signed a Packers tight end, Jace Sternberger. We'll see how it goes. He played for Texas A&M. And I hate to stress this more. Our kicker is some garbage. He cannot. He's hurting the team. I don't understand why we're keeping his ass. So it's so stressful. And I'm guaranteed he's playing against the Saints when we play him on Sunday.
As someone whose fantasy team was playing against Terry McLaurin, I was blown away by Washington's offense in this game. McLaurin and Heineken were just completely unstoppable. 2 of his 3 touchdown passes came right to Terry right there. So those 2, especially down the stretch, they did a great job executing and getting the job done in the clutch. I gotta tip my hat to Heineken on this one. I know Malin was giving him a lot of crap last week, calling him 0% alcohol, but this Sunday he was the full 5%. This Sunday he was giving it to Atlanta. Props to them. Malin, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I'm really proud to call him Heineken because the man has definitely moved away from alcohol-free, and he's got all the alcohol content now because that man was showing me something. I mean, 290 yards and 3 touchdowns, 23 of 33, no picks. That was a showing. I don't care if it's against like a college football team defense that Atlanta put out there. He still did it. The only thing that's weird about Heineken, because we really got to get some traction, people. So you got to call him Heineken, Morgan. Is that it's almost like the biggest accolade that people say about him is, oh, he's a football player. And I'm like, well, so is every other goddamn person on the freaking field. Like, they're all football players. Like, I don't understand it. But he reminds me, and this is crazy, okay? He actually reminds me of Brett Favre back in 93, 94, where he will make some dumbass throws and make Holmgren break some clipboards over his knee and cut somebody out. But then he makes some other throws that are just phenomenal. Like, it's crazy. Like, he is one of those gunslingers that's going to piss you off one week and you'll love him the next. The only thing I'll say about Washington is that, like Morgan, you were pretty much explaining why Chase Young was a non-factor. Everybody on the defense is hurt. If you watch the all-22, man, that man's getting, like, triple-teamed. They're putting 3 linemen on. Like, they don't even give a damn about the other 3 linemen. They're putting 3 offensive linemen on Chase Young, and they're saying everybody else on this line is a bunch of bitches, and you're not going to get to the quarterback. And that's what they're doing, and it's working right now. So the defense does need to get healthy, but I got to be honest, like, Morgan, I don't think you want to sound like Shaq, but for someone that team just won the division last year You seem to be very despondent and discouraged about your team. You guys are one game out, division lead. You're one rolled ankle with Dak Prescott away from having a legitimate shot and making a push at the division. So you need to give him a little bit more credit because first of all, you're thank you for J.D. McKissick because he came from Seattle. Back in 2017, he was the only other person to score a touchdown outside of Russell Wilson that year. Russell Wilson accounted for 28 out of 29 touchdowns that year. J.D. McKissick scored the other lone touchdown. So you're welcome for that. McLaren's a beast. Heineken's pulling up that alcohol content. I mean, they're looking a little bit better. Looking a little bit better. You don't need it. Your hairline's gonna be okay, Morgan. Seriously.
Imagine if we had the defense from last year.
Okay.
We would be insanely good.
But they're hurt. You gotta let them get healthy.
Right.
That's football. Here's my opinion. Congratulations to you, a non-alcoholic Heineken. I will take him over my pipe faucet water Ben Roethlisberger right now. This man is
tap water.
non-filtered faucet water, Big Ben. Just I would take him. Congratulations to y'all coming through and playing when it matters and winning y'all game. I envy y'all right now, so y'all continue to play your football. You see that, football gods? 2 weeks in a row, I'm giving this team props. And I need y'all to give me one. Just give me one. Give me a week. Give me a week that I can come on here and talk props. All I'm saying is, y'all, this man came out here to play football. It chokes me a little bit to say this, but you're a solid 3% alcohol right now.
I'm just trying to count how many times we made Jalen fall out of his chair.
No,
tonight,
we got Flint water. We got Flint water Roethlisberger out there playing.
Flint water. Lord versus German beer Heineken. I love it. No man, he's a baller though. He is. He's a baller.
Yeah, he did great. Go ahead, Evan.
So I hate to burst everybody's bubble here. So ironically, Taylor Heineke is not signed or sponsored. Heineken. He is a Bud Light guy, sponsored by Bud Light.
What the hell?
I
love the fact that you even found that stat.
Yeah, I knew that last week. I found that out. It was pretty funny.
That is the best stat that we've had on this show.
Yes. He's sponsored by Bud Light, everybody.
Somebody missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, no.
Somebody got fired over at Heineken for that.
Okay, first of all, you can't blame a country that loses 2 world wars for missing out on the advertising.
Who says he can't get bad information and historical facts off of this? I hope you got history homework, Morgan, because he learned something today.
They're used to learning, but listen, from now on, I'm going to listen to what Evan has to say because damn, that's knowledge right there.
Sponsored by Bud Light. Also, I think the first week 3 we first came on this podcast. I said that now that Taylor Heineke is starter, expect J.D. McKissick and Terry McLaurin to be more prominent in the offense. And I think last week we saw it. Terry had 2 touchdowns. JD flew like fucking Superman. It was great. The 2 players that I expected the most. I think just going off of the playoff game as well, those are his 2 favorite targets, it seems like. And so I definitely think that Taylor Heineke he's solid. Like Malin said, he's a gunslinger. He's going to make plays that are boneheaded. He's going to make plays that are great. And, he's very hit or miss. But we've done all this talking about the football team. I don't think we've talked about Atlanta. And there's one person that we really need to talk about.
Who?
And that is Cordell Patterson.
All right.
The guy had 3 touchdowns.
He is a fantasy star right now.
Is he on your fantasy team?
He's on mine.
Yeah, he's on Morgan's.
That's ironic.
Yeah. Okay, so Morgan got the best of both worlds. He got 3 touchdowns on wide receiver and still won. All right, that's fine. Whatever.
You're
We'll
assuming
talk
he
about that
started
later.
him. Did you start him, Morgan?
Go back to doing your homework, Morgan. That just makes me mad.
Yeah, did you start him this week?
Continue, Evan.
It's
So-
Mac, but
Continue.
I mean,
Now,
not
hold on. Evan is dropping some knowledge here. We
I was
need to
about-
keep hearing this
I was
knowledge.
about to say, last time I checked,
Someone else.
Morgan's still 1-3 in fantasy.
Like, yeah, he's terrible.
talk
He's
about.
bottom feeder. He's like football, but that's fine. But Evan's over here dropping. We need to hear him out.
Yeah, Corey Patterson, 5 receptions, 82 yards, 3 touchdowns, and also 34 yards rushing. Matt Ryan had 4 touchdowns. Honestly, I thought this game was going to be a snooze fest. And then I was told that the snooze fest games are often the best games. And
If
they're
we're trying to get to
34-30.
sleep.
I mean, if you got
Hey, I don't know what the over was for this. Let me see. Over was
I
47.
guarantee you it was not. Yeah.
It was not this. Exactly my point. So, I mean, we got a good game out of it. 2 god awful teams going. But sorry, Morgan. 2 bad teams. 2 bad teams going at
You
it.
can say it. I
That's
can
coming
say
from a
it.
Giants fan, Morgan.
Yeah, come from Giants fans. So
That's
we're in
fine.
the same boat here.
It's fine.
Look, he's your biggest competitor on this show. It should be Morgan and Evan, to be honest with you.
Sure doesn't seem that way.
Even though
Okay,
y'all
first
attack
off-
me the most.
Well, you make it easy, man.
I literally show up and y'all ready. I ain't gotta do nothing.
We are going to take a break. That way we can come
Chuck
back on
Jackson
the other
has to
side.
move the microphone back up to his forehead. Let that do some talking. That'd be great.
All right, I'm gonna go pee. Well, y'all sit here and roast the fuck out of me for perfect attendance.
We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're going to update you on our fantasy league as we are a quarter into the season. So we'll be back.
Hey, we're still gonna do.
Out of all your predictions for the past 8 weeks, this one beating the Chargers is the most egregious one. I do not understand how the Houston Texans beat the Los Angeles Chargers. There's a lot of W's in here for no damn reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they go 8 and 9. Wow. If the Texans get 8 wins this season, y'all can tell me whatever you want me to do. Name the bridge y'all want me to jump off of if they hit 8 wins.
Big Ben over Roethlisberger put as number 4.
That is.
Let's look at
That's a crazy take.
Let's look at this. I put him that low because the man's towards the end of his
That
career.
low?
Yes.
That low?
Can we talk about Big Ben still being a very accurate passer and still on point with his passes? And half those interceptions and things like that I would like to put on the receiving core of how many times do you see these receivers drop passes all of last season? The man is could be a Hall of Fame quarterback. What are you hitting on?
But we can say that about a lot of quarterbacks.
We can say that, but but deep down inside, do we
believe that? I personally do.
I believe that, but can we doubt the fact that Roethlisberger has multiple rings? The man played an amazing season last season as a quarterback. Can we go back to that?
No.
All right. Y'all mad fucking disrespectful for no reason. We're having no more guests on the show.
Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore, 2 of them are in the process of buying the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards was asked about what he thinks about A-Rod now owning the team, and apparently he did not know who Alex Rodriguez even was. Very strange coming from him, who apparently played baseball for a big chunk of his life, and he's trying to convince people that he doesn't know. Okay, like really?
Go playing games. Jesus. You low-key got distance, man. If you don't tell me
I don't see your name on this checkbook.
What payroll?
Apparently they'll take full control come 2023, And they will also own the WNBA counterpart, the Minnesota Lynx, as well.
Yeah. My English teacher is the reason I put pressure on your neck. Black intelligence is just as dangerous as a tech. Bet. Don't let me get the buck and have the whole crowd ducking. I ain't even done yet. I just started, I ain't even having fun yet. Still learning, I ain't started going dumb yet. Bum as I succumb to the drum set. Hold your applause, y'all. I wasn't done yet. As I. Oh, y'all think it's a game? That's just feeding the flame that took a seat in my brain. It isn't keeping me sane. Cause don't nobody wanna dance slow in.
The Indiana Pacers. Pick number 10 will be made by the New Orleans Pelicans.
A miracle finish would have to obviously happen for Phoenix to pull it out. And again, they're out of timeouts.
Cups of the rose, bitches in my old phone.
I'm so fucking tired of this shit. Fuck this shit. Don't let it kill all you motherfuckers. Come on. Come on. Where's the phone? Where's the phone? Sergeant's gone. Get the fuck out of here.
Tell them to fall back. Tell them to fall back.
You're cut off. Do something. Nobody panic. The good news is they can't fire all of us, right?
They can.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
Oscar, you don't know what the hell you were talking about.
Michael, what do you think shutting down a branch is?
All right, then we're screwed.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's at AFR Sports. Now back to the show featuring your hosts Jalen and Shaquille.
Ain't shit to me, it's a walk in the park. Y'all too smart, can't talk from the heart. I got sauce and it's all for the charts. No aux in the car. Rhyme around bumping that first blueprint on this. I ain't trying to hear what the info is.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of the show. We are right on time. This is exactly according to plan. That's how we wanted to come back into the show right here.
Yeah, life is good. Prepared. We're looking at Morgan's ceiling right now. Is that a closet?
Yeah, Morgan walked away when I was giving his team props. That was rude.
Sorry.
Nice.
Make it a big compliment, apparently.
Yeah, we are going to take a little second half shot. I believe me, Shaq, and Madeline are all taking a shot here. Cheers, gentlemen. We are all scholars and
Gentlemen and scholars is what you're looking for there, Jim. Gentleman part.
yeah, I just said gentlemen, so I didn't want to say it again.
A lot of credit for me.
How are y'all feeling in the second half of this break? That 5 minutes was really fast.
I was about to say, God dang, I feel like we just went on break.
Good, man. I feel like you guys used to have a lot longer break. Like you getting us back in quick, and now Morgan's eating dinner, so I don't.
I'm not eating.
He's eating the second dinner.
Morgan had no time to run to Maryland's, cook his meal over his bonfire outside, come back and eat it.
It's a fire pit. Damn it. Rude.
Technicalities.
I'm sorry. Open flame.
We did used to have a much longer break, but now it is just a set 5 minutes. Just makes it a little easier for behind the scenes stuff. But anyway, we are going to get to the L's of the week here, because that is, without a doubt, one of our favorite parts of the show. So, the L's of the week.
Straight trash, homie.
All right. The Texans produced 109 total yards of offense in their 40 goose egg loss to the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if any of you guys had a pillow and a sleeping bag ready for this game, but I did not waste any of my time watching the Texans get absolutely destroyed in this.
I did not invest any time in this at all. I didn't expect it to go well anyway. So.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, I was watching Red Zone, so I got to see a lot of Buffalo, considering they whooped the hell out of Houston. So I got to see a lot of points. But we can't just gloss over the fact that Morgan was just eating a pudding cup, I think. On air, and we tried to let that slide.
See,
but I think that's awesome.
I understand the
like we're
bias.
over here. No, we're over here taking shots of pudding, and he's like, "I got my shot of pudding." But anyway,
that's a surprise to you, but for me, Jill, and that for some reason that's not a surprise that this man's over here eating a pudding.
Well, look at me. I thought that man was going to get himself a drink, and he came up with a pudding snack.
Man
No,
was
like
hungry.
Houston's just bad, man. And there ain't. I mean, first of all, if you got Deshaun Watson not playing every single week because he don't want to play for you and off the field issues, that's bad in and of its own right. Then they got Tyrod Taylor being hurt, and they only mustered up like 100-something yards, which is, I don't know, I should go around 100 yards right now. But I really think the weirdest thing about the whole thing is that Buffalo seems to be winning in spite of Josh Allen. Josh Allen is not playing as good as he did last year because the defense is giving him a lot of opportunities to get a lot more points. But, he's only got like a 63% completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's only got 96 rating. And last year, he was damn near 70% completion percentage, and he finished on 107 quarterback rating. Like, he is making some throws that baffle me, and sometimes it makes me wonder if he even realizes that Diggs is still on his team. And I only say that because Diggs is on my fantasy teams, a couple of them, and it's pissing me off that Beasley started getting some of these throws, that little non-vaccinated ass. And I just don't even understand what's going on with the Buffalo offense.
You got the Kyrie mentality.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kyrie's like, you know what? Whatever. I'll lose $18 million.
Idiot.
I wish I had that type of life. I was like, listen, I don't want the shot because I don't want $18 million. But I kind of feel like Buffalo's defense is playing a lot better than they did last year. And it's giving Allen a lot more opportunities to get some of these early scores. Did Jalen just come out of his chair again? Like, can you stay upright?
I'm sitting back in my chair. It looks like I'm falling out. I'm just sitting back.
I don't understand. For $18 million, yes, I'll take the COVID vaccine. If you were to say for $5 million, have Mike Tyson clear as day knock you in your shit, I'd be like, yes.
Listen, man, if you told me I was going to lose out on $1,000 if I didn't get the vaccine, I'd be like, give it to me in both arms and both my feet. I don't give a
give me both my doses right now and the person next to me's doses.
Give me everybody else's dose. I don't care. But no, man, like Josh Allen is just not playing as good as he was last year, and he has a little bit of a regression going on. And the Bills' defense is putting him in position to get some touchdowns and for the Bills to get some points. And it's kind of masquerading the fact that he's having a little bit of a regression. But yeah, I mean, they were always going to blow out the Texans. The Texans, they ain't got nothing. They wish they were the Houston Oilers right now. That's how bad.
The Titans somehow found a way to lose to the Jets 27-24 in overtime. The ironic part was I was for a work thing. I was in Nashville this weekend, and the Titans. There's as you can imagine, plenty of Titans fans that were watching this game or following it. And it was funny seeing the roller coaster ride of emotions from Titans fans. Suddenly it got very quiet amongst everybody when they lost. I didn't know that the game was over, but they lost to the Jets.
The Jets of all people, you got to win the games that you should win. This game's gonna come back and bite them in the ass come late season. I'm not saying it's gonna keep them out of playoffs. I'm gonna say it's keeping them out of good positioning in playoffs.
Speaking of regressing, the Titans are regressing as well,
Yes.
without a doubt.
They're gonna get the postseason and be like, "Yo, we're losing home field advantages. We're just not." It's gonna cost them.
Imagine being a Seahawks fan. We lost to the goddamn Titans, and then they lose to the Jets.
Does that mean y'all worse than the Jets? Is that what you're trying to?
Right now, the Titans lost to the wrong Wilson. Like, I don't even understand what the hell happened. Like, Tannehill didn't throw an interception. You know, freaking Henry still ran for over 150 yards in the touchdown, and they lost the game.
So strange.
Like they made Zach Wilson look like Russell Wilson. That made me so. When I watched that game, I was like, "How in the fuck did these Seahawks lose to that team?"
The sad thing is, this does not convince me that the Jets are any better than what they are.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all. Not at all.
They could be whoever they want to be this season. I'd be like, it's the Jets. I'm sorry, no respect at all.
Yeah, because Zach Wilson's going to turn around and throw 4 interceptions next week. I don't know.
The Eagles' slide continues as they allowed the Chiefs to put up 42 on their home field.
Doesn't surprise me.
Patrick Mahomes out there throwing underhand balls for a touchdown. This was absolutely embarrassing. Wasn't really surprising to me, like Shaq said, but any of you guys have thoughts on the Chiefs just steamrolling
It's
the
the Eagles. You could have told me Mahomes
That
uses his
pass
feet
that
the whole
Patrick
game.
did. That pass that Patrick did, he did like it's so weird how he gets these touchdowns.
Didn't he
Or
play baseball?
Yeah.
Baseball
background.
Yeah, he did.
He underhanded a touchdown pass. That was crazy.
You want to talk about pad statting with these little damn shovel passes that he gets credit for touchdowns. That's some good.
And man could have shot it up his asshole and still would still got a
maybe Kansas City does that to you. I don't know. Maybe you show up gassy. But I will say this. Philly still had their chances. Okay? Did they not, Evan? Like, they still had their chances. They were inside the 10 2 times in the first half, walked away with no touchdowns. None of them. And I still think that Philly can still be a player in that division because Hurts balled out, man. 387 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he still balled out. And I saw him enough on red zone that he made some good plays, but they did not convert when they needed to. And then you had, Mahomes underarming shit to people and you get some 5 touchdowns or whatever. But the game was closer at halftime than what it should have been. Yeah. And then I think they just lost steam and Kansas City ended up better.
And my comment to this is this chaos is what cost me fantasy last season against Evan. Is because fucking Tyreek Hill decided he wanted to catch for damn near 200 yards and 4 touchdown passes. I was like,
yeah.
the man scored 40 points for Evan last week. I was like, the fuck am I going to do with this?
47.
I'm a little bit upset the fact that he forgot that Travis Kelce was on his goddamn team. Like, what are we doing?
I'm just hoping this week I play Morgan that did the freaking Kansas.
We'll get into that in a moment.
Upsetting.
Yeah, I don't think that Jalen Hurts is the problem in Philly. Not just because he's a fellow Jalen, but their coaching staff is a Toys R Us coaching staff. But that's just me. Anyway, the Rams beat the the Rams thought they won the Super Bowl last week when they beat the Bucks, and turns out there's still a bunch of football to play, and they ended up getting manhandled by the Cardinals, 37-20. Out in their home stadium. Mainland, this is your own division here. What were your thoughts on the Cardinals just annihilating the Rams?
First of all, I'm conflicted because I do think the Rams are a better team, and I would rather be facing the Rams off of a win than a loss. But whatever. But what really makes me mad is that everybody is all of a sudden anointing Murray is the MVP favorite.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
It was crazy.
I'm only butthurt about it because my quarterback is Russell Wilson, and I just want to give you guys some stats. Okay.
Boy.
So everyone is saying Evan's doing the whole cheat thing. Bear with me, Evan. Wilson's completing 72% of his passes. Murray's completing 76. Okay. Murray's got 1,270 yards passing. Russell Wilson's only got 1,044 because we played the Vikings the week before and our offense sucked. Okay. Here's the kicker. They got the same yards per attempt at 9.5 and 9.6. They both have 9 touchdowns. Murray has 4 interceptions. Wilson has none. Wilson has 129.6 rating. Murray's got 115 rating. I don't know what it is about these midget quarterbacks. They kick my butt. Like the Rams.
I don't know if we can say midget on the air, but we'll go ahead and
little people. I don't give a damn. They're under 6 feet. My own quarterback is under 6 feet. I can say it. It just, I don't know, man. It's like the Rams didn't play bad. It's not like Stafford threw a bunch of picks or anything like that. It's like the Cardinals jumped up early on them, and they took the Rams out of their game plan, and they couldn't. It was almost like that game was more coaching than it was talent, and I hate that because I still think that Kingsbury is a boob. But McVay did not make the necessary adjustments to win that game because Arizona jumped up on them, and it messed up their whole offensive philosophy, and LA could not get back into rhythm. And it was weird because that offense had been in sync, just clicking on all cylinders all year until they were down by like 14 points. And all of a sudden, it's like McVay lost his mind, and it was like Stafford was playing with the Lions again. It was crazy. And I hope that Stafford feels like he's playing with the Lions again next week or tomorrow when my Seahawks play. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yes.
Evan did this, so I kind of want to know what Evan thinks about the game because he did the whole. Oh my God!
My question for you, Malin, was the point of bringing up the Russell Wilson stats to say that they're on the? What was the point of bringing up the Russell Wilson stats?
Okay, the point of bringing up the stats is that they're talking about Murray being the odds-on favorite to win the NFL MVP. And no one's talking about Wilson, yet they have almost the same stats, except Wilson is better. Wilson is one of only 2 quarterbacks that hasn't even turned the ball over this year. And so everyone keeps thinking that Arizona is winning because of offense, but they're winning because of defense. They got Murphy at quarterback from the University of Washington playing out of his mind. Buda Baker, one of the best safeties in the league. They got Chandler Jones and they got Watt on that defensive line that's creating havoc. The Cardinals are winning because of defense more than they're winning because of offense. Because let's be real, the Cardinals outside of playing the Rams, they've been playing a bunch of losing teams. They haven't played nobody. I mean, they were like 6-11 or something like that. I don't know, something stupid. And they've only played one winning team, and that was the Rams. Every other team they played was a losing football team. And they're winning because of their defense, not because of the offense. I mean, when you talk about a team that was going into half, losing to the Jaguars, no, you're not the number 1 team in football if you go into halftime losing to the 0-4 Jaguars. Because, I mean, listen, Urban is too busy grinding up against a 20-year-old than he is coaching football right now. So I'm not buying it. I think that the Cardinals are a flawed. I think they'll come back to earth. I do think that the Rams are the best team in the division, even though I'm a Seahawks fan. And I think that the Cardinals just got a little bit lucky with that defense. So that's why I said that, Evan. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that my only two things to say about that argument is, for starters, one, the Seahawks are 2-2, and two, there was a point in time, 2 weeks ago, where you guys were scoring 13 points in total in the second half, and 62 in the first. So I think that obviously, I mean, yes, comparably, they might have the same stats, but obviously the effect that Russell Wilson is having on the team isn't the same effect that's being felt by Kyler by the Cards. No, yes, for sure.
Is it the difference of the defense though? Because my
that's a good
defense is garbage.
That's a very good point. But I do think that Kyler. I mean, there's obviously reasons why people have him as odds-on favorite. I mean, it's Kyler. I mean, yes.
He's the odds-on favorite because they're the only undefeated team in the league. And you know what? Last year, Pittsburgh was the last undefeated team in the NFL. That worked out. So that is not the end all be all when it comes to stats and how well are people playing. And I'll say this: after 4 weeks last year, did not everyone think that Russell Wilson was going to win the MVP?
Yeah.
Did they not?
True.
Did they not? After 4 weeks, like you crowded somebody after 4 weeks when Kingsbury's your coach. There's more defense in this offense right now. And the only reason why I can say that is because you are not hearing a lot about DeAndre Hopkins.
That's true.
You're hearing a lot about Murray, but you're not hearing a lot lot Hopkins. And it's because the defense
is underrated. I mean, overrated. And I know Hopkins not doing much because I have Hopkins on my fantasy right now, and homeboy ain't doing a lot right now.
That is a perfect segue into our next topic this week. Instead of talking about the news, so if you do not know, we are all in a fantasy league together, along with several other people who are in our league. So seeing that we are 4 weeks into the season, we're about a quarter of the way through, figured we'd give an update on our fantasy league and how things are going with each of our teams. So just a quick run through of how the divisions or conferences are laid out right now. In the East, I am tied for first with Team Dowdy. Shaq and Evan are tied for second at 2-2. First place is 3-1. And in third place is Kyle and Morgan tied at 1-3. And then out in the West, there is Jaden and Azan are tied at 3-1. And then Jordan and Malin are tied at 2-2. And then third place is Nestor and Ryan at 1-3. So only 4 games played so far, so everybody is still in, striking distance of each other. But I wanted to go around and ask you guys how you feel about your team thus far. Like mistakes you feel like you've made, where you feel like you could make some improvements at, maybe some strategizing you don't mind throwing out there if you don't think that it's going to tip your hand too much. Shaq, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the status of your team so far?
I'll be fully honest. My biggest mistake right now is my quarterback position right now.
Yikes.
I got, which is more important than you think it is. Big Ben is one of my quarterbacks, and Baker Mayfield is my other quarterback in my division. And it is making it very hard. Of course, the weeks that I decide to switch out Big Ben and put Baker Mayfield in, Baker Mayfield puts in the most minimal work. For the week I have Big Ben in, Baker Mayfield's putting up 20-plus points in the game. But, like, Hopkins, like I brought up earlier, is, like, not as explosive as I want him to be. But, like I said, right now it's still close with me being the record that I am 2-2, still sitting up there. I just need people to be more explosive. Last week I played Evan. He decided to have Tyreek Hill throw 40-something points on me. So I was like, there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
I'm taking L's. And this week I played Morgan. and Morgan has Patrick Mahomes, so they have another week like last week, Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
I would like to say there's no way, but I don't want to jinx you.
Kansas City.
Right.
I have bad juju, so I'm like, I feel like my team is like not the most solid team, but solid enough that it can definitely keep me around.
Any adjustments you're looking to make? Anybody you're looking to get rid of and pick up in their place?
I mean, it's
you're
hard
gonna
because
just
there's
ride
not
out?
at this point in time, unless you find a way to make some decent trades with some people in fantasy. Like, is there anything you're willing to work through? At my only position I want to get rid of right now that I feel comfortable is the quarterback position. I got like, it is hard. Nobody's at this point in fantasy is willing to give the quarterback for nothing at all.
Morgan, what are your thoughts on how you're sitting right now at 1-3?
I feel like that I have a couple injuries, so I have to drop them. But like Hilton on injury reserve. He's supposed to be one of the best wide receivers, but he has a neck injury. So I'm gonna have to drop him. I'm also need a tight end, and I've been switching between wide receivers, and I have a run game, so that's good. And I have a quarterback.
A receiver,
it's
I
all
can
about the
work
time.
with you for a quarterback.
I know I have the best one, but it is what it is.
Wait, who's your quarterback, Morgan?
Patrick Mahomes.
A little shovel pass master. All right. Go ahead. So,
but yeah, I just need a tight end. I can't find one at the moment, so I've been just switching around.
Evan, what are your thoughts on your 2-2 season so far?
Man, I it's a little frustrating. I have Miles Sanders. The Eagles just don't run the ball anymore because they're just always happen to be behind, so it's constantly playing catch up with teams. So yeah, Miles Sanders isn't necessarily utilized, which means I don't have a run game. James Robinson just started getting into the mix again for the Jaguars, which is a good thing. But outside of that, I mean, I picked up Chuba Hubbard last week, and he had 9.1 points. So I'm in the market for a running back. If anybody has extra, I will be looking to talk because I desperately. I have a Ryan Tannehill shack if you would like.
You can lose to the Jets next week if you want
might be able to put up some business later on after the
show. All right, I will be on the lookout. But yeah, I mean, Kyler, Tyreek, and Travis kind of round out my top three players, and Julio's questionable. I know, Julio's questionable. Sterling Shepard was having a good year, whom I miss. So, I don't know. I'm playing you, Jay, this week. So I got to make some adjustments to this team. But, yeah.
Good to know. Malin, what are your thoughts? You're also at 2-2 right now.
Oh, thanks, Jalen. First of all, I want to congratulate you and say thank you for bringing up the fantasy teams when I literally just had my worst week in fantasy that I've ever had in my life because I'm in 3 leagues and I literally got my ass whooped in all 3 leagues. In the league that we're playing right now, I literally lost 105-66.
I would like to just throw out, you did lose to Ryan Brown.
Ryan Brown.
He lost
on paper, Ryan Brown has the worst team in all
I'm upset about it, but give me a moment to talk here. Now, first of all, I will say this. I share things with Evan here is that on some of my teams, I got Aaron Jones and Julio Jones. And the only excuse I could give to the Titans for losing last week to the Jets is that both of them were out. We didn't mention that when we were talking about the L's of the week, but it is kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But no, listen. This is a bad week for me in fantasy because not just did I get my just literal ass kicked, like I still feel like I have someone's foot in my ass. They broke off from the actual practice. So I'm really glad that you picked this week to talk about fantasy. I'm really excited about it.
We are going to be doing these every 4 weeks just to keep it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. I hope I'm better.
Yeah.
Because I lost in all 3 leagues. Got my ass whooped. I lost so bad that it wasn't until the 7th minute of the 3rd quarter that I got a single touchdown of all 9 players that I had playing in the first half on Sunday at the 1 o'clock.
Look.
Like, you want to talk about being mad? 1 o'clock, the game started. I had 9 people playing in all 3 leagues. Not one of them got a goddamn touchdown until 7 minutes into the 3rd quarter. That pissed me off. So I will say this, that I still got Wilson and Lockett, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm a little bit concerned about having Nick Chubb because they keep giving Kareem Hunt the ball, and it's pissed me off because Hunt got the touchdown last week, and they're a little like 12-7 win. That made me angry. Kittle, I kind of feel like Shanahan doesn't know that Kittle is still on the football team when it comes to San Francisco because he's not doing anything, and he was the number 1 or number 2 rated tight end in football. And I have either Kittle or I have Kelsey on all 3 leagues, and none of them did shit last week. So let's be excited about that for a second. But I still have Deebo Samuel. I still have Lockett. I still got some good people on wide receiver, so that's fine. My kicker on 2 of my leagues is on the IR, playing for San Francisco, so that's fun. But I did pick up Pollard with Dallas because I'm expecting Zeke to get hurt at some point. Because nobody
don't say that.
I'm saying this right now. Nobody runs for like 4 yards and puts their hands up and goes out of the game more than Zeke. Like he's like, dude, I just ran for 4 yards. I need a breather. So I do have Pollard. And I did pick up Alex Collins from the Seahawks because Carson does have that neck injury. And Seattle still wants to run the ball, even though they're not that great at it. And Collins did look good. I mean, he had, I think it was 11 touches, 77 yards, and a touchdown last week in the second half. So I did pick up Alex Collins for the Seahawks. But, yeah, I got embarrassed last week at 2-2. So I'm really glad that you decided to let's talk about the fantasy league when you're at 3-1. And it's convenient, but, whatever.
I was feeling myself last week versus Evan. I lost against you week 1. Then I got 2 back-to-back wins. And I was like, all right, I see you going Evan. Evan also in the same position as me. I was at work when the Kansas City game was going on, so I didn't get to watch like all of it. And then when I looked at it on my lunch break, I was like, all right.
What is going on?
At that point, Tyreek killed like 30 points at that point in time. So I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then I checked in again. It was like 47 points. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, but before Evan goes, I do have to point out that I think the worst draft pick does belong to Shaq because he picked Juju Schuster in like the 3rd or 4th round of our draft, and he's done nothing.
Granted, he missed all of last game due to a rib injury.
I'm just saying, he still picked him in the 3rd or 4th round. Juju Schuster.
I mean, I picked him because that's like 1 of 3 receiving weapon. Big Ben, I assume, is going to have to feed it to Juju.
But he doesn't get fantasy points for Instagram posts. I don't know what you were thinking.
But like I'm saying, he's one of the few weapons that the Steelers have to abuse. So I'm like, if the Steelers want to be successful, they have to feed to Juju a lot. So I was hoping for that. I didn't assume Juju was going to be like, game 3, I'm hurt. I'm done. Don't put me in.
I have no comment on any of that nonsense. Yeah, up here at 3-1, it's kind of lonely up here at the top.
Okay,
I'll make do.
We're getting behind, man.
Us lonely people at the bottom where we're shit talking amongst losing records. My losing record is better than yours. No, mine is better than yours.
I primarily need McCaffrey to come back. I know he's back to practice now.
Yeah, that's the worst pick right there. I'm sorry. I said Juju was the worst pick, but it's got to be McCaffrey.
Okay, I mean he's also averaging the most points in fantasy for the first 4 weeks, but if he could just hurry up and come on back, I think he'll either back this Sunday, if not next Sunday for sure. Hopefully it would be great if he come back this Sunday.
I'm just saying,
Philadelphia, so
you say that like you worked the shit out of me week 1, but you did beat me by half a point week 1.
Right, I did, but just
half a point.
There's no moral victories in football. So.
Oh, when is the difference when you putting the sock in your mouth and Morgan putting the sock in his last year?
Exactly.
But the difference is Morgan is not the type of person to make these bets and go upon these ways. So I'm the only person willing to make these type of bets and look stupid, even though I'm like, Morgan's gonna look at me like, I ain't gonna do all that. But
okay, but I want to hear about Evan's team though, because I don't really know who he has on his team. He's being quiet, so I feel like he has some sleepers.
Oh, he's can't hear him.
Is he on mute?
Got it. Cool.
Yeah,
no, I was saying, Brandon Cooks is having a really good year for someone who has Davis Mills at the helms right now. Brandon Cooks.
Learn some football, Shay.
But outside of that, I mean, I have Graham Gano as my kicker.
That went over the head.
I got Graham Gano as my kicker. Just broke his streak last week, sadly. But he's actually pretty good this year. But that's my team for this league. I gotta drop Chuba Hubbard because Christian McCaffrey's coming back this week, so he's not gonna get any playing time.
Please
and I think he is because Chuba's projected to score 2.6 points. So yeah, Saints defense and the Bucks defense too. Defenses are actually decent. And Emmanuel Sanders, he sits at the end of my bench.
Yes.
I don't know when he was started to get his role started to get increased in Bill's offense, but keep my eye on him. Keep my eye on him. He might get a start this week against UJ. I'm projected to score literally 1.5 more than you currently. So,
well, we're really quick, Joe. Let's go around to figure out like who is everyone's best steal in the draft. Like who's giving them the most points for when they drafted them.
I'll go really quick, and I was gonna say this anyway, but I need to start Daniel Jones more. He's currently like number 17 and averaging the most points in the NFL right now as far as fantasy goes, which is strange to say the least. But I've been sticking with Joe Burrow, who's been doing solid. But if I started Daniel Jones in his place, I could probably be doing a bit better. So I need to start trusting him a bit more. He's playing the Cowboys.
That's what I like to hear.
It is a very hard thing to do. I think I need to get a therapist to get over this hump. But yeah,
it's okay. Trust me.
I need to start putting in Daniel Jones. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger this week and put him in his place of Burrow. But I think DJ has been my I guess you say steal of the draft.
Yeah. I love that Jalen talks about he needs to get over a hump at 3-1 right now. So he seems to. And I'm pretty sure the first week that all of us were on this show together, that everyone was talking about that Daniel Jones is not the answer at quarterback. Now he's like, yeah, that's what I want to hear, baby.
That's
I think Cooper Kupp is my biggest steal. He actually sat on the bench for the first 2 weeks, and then I decided to throw a brain and put him in there on some league.
He's a big factor in why I'm 3-1 right now.
Yeah, so I got him in a couple of my leagues, and I'm glad that he's doing. I hope he doesn't do anything tomorrow. I think Morgan's eating it out of a pudding cup though, because it turned his.
Yeah, I mean, as far as y'all judge me for picking up Zeke, granted he did very bad week 1, but he got me 17 points week 2, 20 points week 3, and 26 points the week after that. So I'm like, he has pulled his weight, and Claypool has been Claypool is my other one. Claypool has got me 20 plus points this past couple weeks. So
No one judged you for picking up Zeke. We judged you for starting Big Ben and picking up Juju in the 4th round. That's what we judged you on. It wasn't Zeke.
I'm not gonna lie. I judged Shaq a little for taking Zeke his first round pick. I thought that was.
Oh, that was the first round pick.
yes, but my theory behind that is that Prescott is gonna need a run game if he wants to stay healthy this whole entire season. So I assume they're gonna put a little bit more weight on Zeke in the run game this season. They cannot have that man sitting back there taking risk of trying to evade and move around the pocket. So I was hoping they were gonna abuse Zeke. So that's why I picked him up.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he has come back to life here.
I mean, where did Morgan go again?
I don't know.
You still here, Morgan?
Right. Yeah, I'm here.
I would say my sleeper is probably Brandon Cooks. I mean,
good.
He's what, game 2 against the Browns, he got 14 targets. Panthers 11 targets, and then when he played Jacksonville and the Bills, he got 7 targets. So I mean, he's been having a really good season, really highly targeted. And like I said, for someone who originally had Tyrod Taylor, who was having a good season until he got injured, but now has Davis Mills. I mean, applause to him. So
solid.
That's my sleeper pick.
Okay. Morgan, your sleeper?
Probably Henderson off of LA. He's been off and on for injuries, but when he gets on the field, he makes something happen. So that's what I'm going with, my running back.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that'll do it for our fantasy update this time around. I guess we'll get back to you guys in another month once we're roughly halfway through the year and see how things have changed at that point. So
hopefully things will flip by that time comes around. Some of us will be on top, some of us will be.
They don't need to flip necessarily, but
Morgan, who does Washington play next week? Morgan,
Saints.
Oh, the Saints. Hey, pick up Heineken, Shaq. That's your quarterback.
Yeah, you should.
You can cry about it like T.O.
I was about to say, is it bad that Morgan is recommending me to pick up his quarterback for his team instead of trying to pick him up himself?
I recommended it.
I know, but Morgan's agreeing with you. He's like, yeah, pick him up. It's like you would think he would.
Because you have Washington on your team?
Who?
Listen, Morgan doesn't like the defense. He's on a record saying they're garbage every single week, but he likes the quarterback.
Just saying, do you have a Washington player on your team, Shaq?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't either, but last but not least, let's round this show out with our ride or die in 5. This is where we just give our quick picks on some of the more marquee games that are coming up this weekend. But we're gonna start off with the game that's coming up tomorrow night. This is a big game. These games, Rams and Seahawks, these games are always great. The fact that it's a Thursday night game is an absolute blessing because last week, folks, it was the Jags and the Bengals, which I will say was not a bad game, but on paper, in comparison, this is a much more interesting game. I cannot wait to see this. The Rams, 2.5-point favorites right now on the road against the Seahawks. They are minus 135 money line. The Seahawks are plus 115. Over under is 54.5. Again, this is the Thursday night game. Before the season started, I picked the Rams. Shaq, there was some confusion here. I don't know what Shaq picked before the season started. I think we may have gotten off topic and Shaq just didn't make a pick. But yeah, so I'll make it brief because this is the ride or die in 5. I'm going to take the Rams to win this game by some way. I say take the money line on the Rams to somehow, some way win this game. Shaq, who do you have in this one?
I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Seahawks. Like I said, I project the Seahawks to do really good the rest of the season, and I say they do it now to make a point. And so I'm gonna go ahead and say the Seahawks to win this game. They're gonna pull it out. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be I say a field goal. I say it's gonna be a very close game throughout this whole entire game. They could win by field goal, so I give it to the Seahawks.
Malin, who do you have in this game?
Well, it's official. If we lose, I blame Shaq. Really quick, because I know this is the ride or die 5. But listen, man, in primetime under Carroll, we're 33-8-1 in primetime games. Okay, we're 9-1 on Thursday night games. We're 4-0 when we wear those hideous action green uniforms that we'll be wearing tomorrow. And we are 2-0 against Sean McVay and those Rams wearing those action greens on Thursday night because for some reason, whenever my Seahawks play a Thursday night game, it always has to be a division opponent. It pisses me off. And Arizona proved to everybody that you can win a game and not get pressure on the quarterback because Arizona did not get a single sack against LA, yet they still won. And my defensive line is garbage, so I don't expect them to get Stafford much. But I do think we're going to win the game. And that's not a homer pick, that's stats. But now that Shaq picked the Seahawks, now I'm going to be drinking a lot tomorrow, Shaq. So thank you. Thank you for that.
I'm feeling a lot better about my pick. You guys played each other last year on Thursday Night Football, right? Like kind of later in the year?
No, it was the 2 years before that. Last year we played the Cardinals on Thursday night. But so we do well on Thursday night. And Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson, giving himself his own nickname, which is cheesy as hell. I do think that the Seahawks will win just because Carroll has a way of getting his team up for primetime games. Like I can't explain it, but they got the best record in the NFL on primetime games Thursday night. I think they'll win on a short week. For some reason, they're really great on short weeks.
Evan, who do you have in this one? What are you taking?
With the new presentation of facts that I was given by Malin, I think that I might. Nah, I'm sticking Rams this week.
Damn.
Rams this week.
Literally just gave you all the
It's like, I heard you,
I
acknowledge you, but I'm going to continue my
sticking with his guns.
I want to, but my heart's saying Rams. Bounce back week. Yeah, Rams.
Spread, money line, anything in particular?
I'd say spread. They'll cover. They'll cover.
I mean, it's a field goal, so it's basically whoever's win.
Yeah.
It's basically a game.
Morgan,
don't you dare.
I'm gonna have to go Rams here because that defense is. I know it's not as good as last year, but you got Donald, and then you got Ramsey. So I'm going.
I'm sorry.
I got me and Shaq.
I will say I'm sorry, man, but Seahawks about to get this shit blown out, generally because me and you're the only people picking.
When I drink a 6-pack tomorrow night, break speed off of us. I blame you, Shaq.
Man's liver's gonna fail him. Seahawks getting blown out by 3 touchdowns. Russell can't play for the rest of the year after this. He's catching some sort of super COVID after this.
Wait a minute. First of all, don't you put that on him. That man ain't missed a game yet. He ain't Big Ben. Don't you put that on him.
I mean, unfortunately, Big Ben doesn't miss games, so Big Ben is there
All
for
right.
all of them.
From now on, Jalen, we are not putting up the Seahawks in the ride or die in 5 because I don't need that type of juju with Mr. Steelers fan over here as being a hater.
This week I couldn't. I had to put them in because this game is too good. This is probably the best Thursday night game possibly all
Yeah.
year. So
that's terrible.
Moving right along to the Sunday at 1:00, Saints at the WFT. The Saints. This is a pretty close one. The Saints are 1-point underdogs on the road. The money line is -125 for the Saints, plus 105 for Washington. Before the season started, I picked Washington. Shaq picked New Orleans. Real quick, I'm gonna take the money line on the Washington football team to win this game. I'm trying to stick with my preseason picks because they are turning out to be a lot better than my current ride or die in 5 picks. So I say Washington wins this one way or another. It'll be a close game without a doubt. But Jameis, like I was saying, he's every other week, so I think this week he'll be an off week. So I think Washington wins this one. Malin, who do you have on this one?
Well, I do have Washington winning this game. And the only reason why I can make this pick, now I'll put a disclaimer on this. If you're betting money and you're listening to this podcast, don't bet based on what I'm saying right now because Washington is consistently mediocre. Okay?
Well.
New Orleans is either good or bad. They're not in the middle. So I gotta go with Heineken. He showed me some of that alcohol content. I gotta ride with him on this game. And I just have a hard time thinking that Jameis is going to show up in big moments. But he could either show up big or he could show up small. But if you had me bet money, I got to go on the consistent team, which is the mediocre Washington football team, and not the hot and cold Saints team.
Yep. I mean, my votes, I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm going to go with Mr. 5% himself to win this game, generally because I got to switch up my jujus one way or another. So I figure if I don't go rah Washington. And plus, I got 0 to no faith in James Winston to do anything productive, especially on his bad week projected. So I'm going to say Washington covers. Rah, go Mr. 5%.
Morgan, this is your team, and Shaq just spoke it right into existence. What do you like in this game?
I'm actually might go to this game, honestly.
Hey, yo.
I said we win. It's going to be a close game, of course, because, our defense can't do shit.
God.
But it's going to be a close game. But this is a must win because we have Casey next week. And it's definitely a must win. Because after this game, it's get harder.
It might.
It's going to.
I hope I don't play nobody with no Kansas City players next week.
I love the fact that Morgan will still predict his team to win, yet still talk shit. Like, that's just the best thing ever, man. It's like, yeah, we'll win, but we're still garbage.
Evan, what do you like in this game?
Money line Washington. Saints offense is weird. It's extremely predictable as well. It's run, pass, and then you sprinkle a little Taysom in there. Sprinkle a pass to Kamara every once in a while. I think that it's Peyton playing really conservative. You're not really seeing the erratic and irresponsible Jameis. You're getting the conservative and really calculated Jameis. And
Subdued.
I don't know how good that is. Yeah, I don't know how good that is for the team. You kind of want James to play through his mistakes. And I mean, like, yeah, sure, guy threw 30 interceptions in a season. But I think I would much rather have him go out and make the decisions and try and create big plays rather than just playing to hand the ball off to Kamara, sprinkle and give the ball to Taysom Hill, and maybe throw a couple checkdowns. I got Washington here.
I will say this: I think the Saints need to limit Taysom Hill because he is not creating magic like he used to, and he threw a crucial interception in that game against the no-name football last week. So.
Yeah. Last but not least, or actually, no, we've got a few more here. The Browns and the Chargers are playing each other at SoFi Stadium at 4:05 this Sunday. This has come down to basically a pick 'em. 46.5 points is the over/under. Both Shaq and I took the Browns to win this game in the preseason. Morgan, who you like on this one?
Browns. I think Browns will be up by 2 touchdowns at the end of the game.
2 touchdowns? Okay, Jesus.
Maybe I'm over exaggerating. Okay, 1 touchdown since it's the Chargers.
Don't let me talk you out of it.
But yeah, Browns are looking nice.
Shaq, who do you like in this one?
No, I'm gonna stick with the Browns win this game. Like I said, especially the weeks that I know we're gonna lose, everybody else in the division is gonna win. So it balances out. I say they win by a touchdown.
Who are you guys playing this week?
The Broncos.
Okay.
Is it bad that I'm predicting us to lose against the Broncos? Yes, but I don't see us beating the Broncos, and I see the Browns winning. So,
I'm sticking with my guns. I'm taking the Browns to win this one way or another. Yeah, Evan, who do you have in this one?
I'm gonna differentiate myself. I'm going Chargers. Last week I didn't really see much from the Browns, and that could just because the Vikings are somehow, some way competitive in every game, but they just lose. But yeah, I got the Chargers. I like what I'm seeing from Justin Herbert this year.
And Malin, what do you like in this one?
Listen, man, Evan's a smart person. That's why I like him so much. Besides just the background he has, like with all colors, but he's smart. First of all, for it being a picking game and there's literally no line, it's even. For Morgan to say 2 touchdowns, he's had too many pudding snacks. I really got literally. I almost want to say I have no idea who's going to win the game, but I am going to go Chargers because Herbert's on a tear, man. He played great last year. He's playing great this year. He doesn't have a sophomore slump. He has the most games since he started with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's had 6 of them. And if you even go back to 2018, you're going 2 years where the man didn't even play. He's still ranked number 10 in the NFL with 3 touchdown games with no interceptions. He's balling. I like their receivers. I know that Myles Garrett decided not to wear sleeves for 1 week and got popped for a random drug test because his arms are the size of the Empire State Building. But I still think the Chargers are probably going to win the game.
Fair enough. Now, the next one on the list, another great NFC West showdown. We have the 49ers at the Cardinals at 4:25 this Sunday. The 49ers are 5.5-point underdogs on the road. They are plus 203 money line, and Cardinals are minus 243 money line. Before the season started, both Shaq and I picked the Cardinals to win this game. I am most definitely sticking with my guns, and I think that the Cardinals cover the 5.5 points. I think they continue this hot streak and handle their business at home. to cover the 5.5 points. Malin, this is your division. What do you like in this one?
I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say Niners. Now it does matter like which Jimmy G shows up. Mr. 10 of 11 in the first quarter against Seahawks, or hurt calf Jimmy G shows up. But I'm not sold on Arizona and their record. They've won one big game. That's it. Combined 6-9, only one winning team. They've beaten the Titans, the Vikings, and the Jaguars before they beat the Rams. And I'm going to go out saying that the Cardinals are going to start reading their press clippings a little bit. I still think that Shanahan's a better coach than Kingsbury. And the Cardinals are not going to go undefeated in the division. And I think the Niners are pissed off that they lost a game that they probably should have won against my Seahawks. I think it's going to be a much closer game. So I'm going to go with the Niners, but that's me saying that Jimmy G is first quarter Jimmy, not second quarter Jimmy.
Shaq, what do you like in this one?
I'm gonna go Cardinals. I'm gonna stick with that gun. Just say they pull this one out. It may not be up to the hype that everyone else think they are, but they're still, I feel like, a good team this year. And I say they pull through on this game. So I'll stick with that.
Evan?
Yeah, I'm going Cards. I think they win by 6. Yeah, I think that, although the schedule isn't as strong as, we kind of make it out to seem with their 4-0 record, I still think that the Cards are semi-legit. I mean, defense has been playing out of their mind. And, with the offense, you have, Kyler at the helm, one of the most dynamic quarterbacks. I think this is a win for the Cardinals.
And Morgan.
I think Cardinals win by a touchdown. Kyler's playing his mind out. So, you got JJ on defense. Their defense is looking nasty. You're going to remain undefeated.
I'm just saying, if the Niners win, I'm going to talk so much shit next week.
Rightfully
You brought
so.
up JJ Watt that's literally almost done nothing on defense when they got like 5 other people that actually have stats. That's fine, Morgan.
Last to round this thing out, the Sunday night game. This is the AFC Championship rematch. The Bills going back to Kansas City. The Bills are 2.5 point underdogs on the road against the Chiefs. Money line plus 125 for the Bills, minus 145 for the Chiefs. Before the season started, I took the Bills. Shaq took the Chiefs. I'm going to stick with my guns on this one. I say the Bills win this one in Kansas City, looking for revenge. Josh Allen snaps out of it a bit and starts to remember that Stephon Diggs is on his team, throws him the ball a bit more, and I say that they win this game. I will say take the 2.5 points without a doubt. But yeah, 2.5 points for the Bills for me. Evan, who do you like on this one?
I'm sad I won't be able to watch this game, but I think I don't know. I'm gonna go. This is hard. I'm gonna go Chiefs. Yeah, I'm going Chiefs. I'll go Chiefs.
All right.
I don't have a reason. The Bills have been on fire recently, shutting out the Dolphins, shutting out the Davis Mills Texans, and beating the Eagles. But like Malin said earlier, Josh Allen has not been Josh Allen. But also it's the Chiefs defense, and they're not good as well. So this will just be a shootout in reality, hopefully. So, yeah.
Morgan, who do you like in this one?
Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has to play well so I can beat Shaq. That's the only reason.
Petty.
We need Shaq.
But I'm the one suffering.
Shaq, you can go ahead.
I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs. They're coming off a very good week. They're gonna come back. Confidence can be. Patrick Mahomes can remember who he is. And unfortunately, if it does come to a shootout, nobody wins shootouts more than Patrick Mahomes. So he is definitely a person who will enjoy those type of shootouts. So Chiefs.
Mainland, who do you have in this one?
Oh, he's muted.
Oh, are you on mute?
Yeah, he's on mute.
Yeah, he's muted.
I'm sorry, I was muted, so you guys didn't hear my last thing when I said Chargers instead of Buffalo. So I do think that Buffalo's going to win the game. The reason why I think is that Kansas City is still played by turnovers, and Buffalo's defense is opportunistic on turnovers, and Buffalo's offense has been capitalizing on turnovers all year long. And I do think it will be high scoring. I don't think they're going to blow people out like, what everyone was saying with the last two games they played, because they played inferior opponents. Sorry, Morgan. But I think that at the end of the day, there's just something wrong with the Chiefs right now. They're not playing as fluid offense. Their defense is definitely not as good as what it had been in a couple years past. And like Evan said, I think that the Bills are going to score enough points to cover a 2.5-point spread. So I would definitely take the Bills on this one. I just think that the Chiefs are suffering from that Super Bowl loss hangover that people are not talking about enough. I think it's a really real thing. And the Chiefs for way too long felt talent-wise that they can play poorly and turn it off and turn it on at the second half of the game and end up squeaking out a game. And they've been proven this year that they just can't do that. And I think it might bite them in the butt at the end.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change my answer. I think I got the Bills. The Bills defense. I completely forgot that the Bills defense has been playing really well, and if this does turn into a shootout, yes, Patrick Mahomes is amazing at shootouts, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to the Chiefs defense, and I think that if the Bills can exploit the Chiefs defense, like many other teams have been able to this year, win or losing, I think that the Bills will win this game if they're able to put up points. I mean, I definitely don't think it's going to be a defensive dominate. I don't think anybody does, but it really does just boil down to the Chiefs defense. If the Chiefs defense can create turnovers, they'll win the game, but I just don't foresee that happening.
And turnovers have been such a big thing, and Kansas City's been careless with the ball. Mm-hmm. And even without the game against the Chargers where they turned over on the first 3 possessions, that's fine. But they're still careless, and that Bills defense is legit, and the Bills offense has not turned the ball over. So, I mean, Vegas is smart with a 2.5 money line. But in a shootout, I got to think that the Bills defense is going to have the edge over the KC defense.
Yeah, should be a great Sunday night game on that one. But yeah, I think that will do it for this week. Anything else you guys wanted to mention before we get up out of here?
My Giants got to win.
Washington has to win.
Okay.
My Seahawks damn well better win. Need it.
I hope the Steelers pick up a quarterback. I'm not projecting any wins upon us, but I'm just saying I hope we.
Well, okay, wait a minute. We cannot get off the air and not talk about the fact that Shaq thinks that Cam Newton would be an upgrade over Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes, 100%. The man can he can actually move
man.
his legs properly.
I'm a bit biased, so I would also take Cam Newton over Roethlisberger right
Yeah,
now.
I would
but
as well.
Newton moved his legs better back in like 2015 when he went to a Super Bowl. He ain't played
You
good.
could tie Cam Newton's legs together, and he would still move his legs better than Ben Roethlisberger.
Come on now. It's like Shaq is like, hey, let's go to an old folks home and like grab a QB between Big Ben and I mean, good Lord.
We would just trade out the old person we picked up for Ben Roethlisberger, and they wouldn't tell the difference.
The only difference between Cam and Big Ben is that Steelers are more loyal. Otherwise, they'd both be on the unemployment line. Come on, man.
Yeah, that'll do it for this week's show. We will talk to you all next week. I think things are really going to start shaping up here in the next week when teams start to pull ahead and some teams start to really fall back.
Well,
we will see who that is not. Come next week. Thank you all for watching and or listening. Like the video if you did enjoy it, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.